everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. Welcome to my Orilium vlog. Hopefully there will be a few of these. I do have 8 books to read this month, and so I'm going to do my best to get them all read. Our family is in a situation where we have medical concerns and hospice involved, so things are a little tough right now. I'm having a hard time staying focused on reading, thus the reason that March had almost no videos. I'm hoping that going forward that videos are going to be a little more consistent, but we all know that grief has its own timetable for what's coming. So, all of that being said, I am currently reading 1984 by George Orwell. This is my, I have to open my book. This one is my Spells and Incantation. I needed a random number generator title length. I got 4. So 1984. I used the digits. This one I am currently reading for my, or pre-reading for my Brit Lit class, with the goal of trying to read in one day what I'm going to require them to read in a week. So I, yesterday, or Monday, I read the first 80 pages, so that'd be week 1. Then I read today I read the next, what is that, 40 plus 20, 65 pages, which is great. And the next one, so, and it probably will be Friday when I read this, will be the next 75 to 80 pages. And I'll probably do that on Friday. As far as my feelings on this book, it took me a few minutes to get into it. I was having a hard time just reading it and being drawn in right from the beginning, because it doesn't, like, the descriptions that Orwell has are great, but there's a lot of things going on that kind of, reading the first page or so, it's almost as if the narrator assumes you know this stuff. So what I ended up doing was grabbing the audiobook, and that has helped me a great deal. At this point, I could probably just continue reading it physically, but I'm enjoying the audiobook. I do, I'm listening to, who is the narrator? Stephen Powell, I think. Let me see. I'm right in front of my computer, so pulling up YouTube is not a big deal. Yeah, so it's Steve Parker audiobooks on YouTube. He breaks it down chapter by chapter, and even his screen pieces that he has are there. When it gets up past part 1, he'll put part 1, chapter 1, 2, 3, or whatever, but on the big list it says like chapter 9 or whatever it is in the overall book. But I'm having a great time with it. And here we are, the end of 1984. I have mixed feelings about the end of this book. I know where it was going, and the whole fact of this is a negative utopia. But yet, at the same time, I'm kind of mad at the ending. The whole last part is dealing with Winston. Yeah, Winston's I think it is. Wasn't Winston his name? Winston Wilson. Winston, yeah. The whole third part is dealing with Winston being arrested and his torture. And it definitely an interesting way that they end it. I'm not going to fully spoil everything. It's his arrest is kind of written on the wall from midway through part 1, I think. Or at least in my opinion. I never saw him as not getting arrested. So this is kind of an interesting thing, and some of the things that we see happen you kind of expect, but maybe not the way that you expected them. Or the event happens and you expect that to happen, but not in the way it happened. The details around it are a little bit different. And I definitely know why we read Orwell for literature, especially British literature. But at the same time, his writing is dark. It is not my usual go-to for writing. It doesn't, I didn't hate the book. And actually, truthfully, as far as writing style goes and character development and plot, this is a high-rated book. The only thing that's lacking in it is my personal enjoyment. Although I was riveted through the whole book. So, what does that say? I was riveted through the whole book, and so I'm a little unsure of myself, as far as, like, does that count as enjoyment? Or was I just intrigued but not enjoying it? I don't know. Way too many questions to think about right now after this book. But we do have a lot of terms that have become kind of in our everyday life, including the term Big Brother. And it's kind of interesting to see how Orwell thought things through based on what he knew in 1949 and what he thought 1984 was going to look like. And even to the point of wondering what our future is going to look like. So, my thoughts on 1984, overall good read. But it's not really one that I would say that you go into it. It's not a popcorn read. It's not going to be that light, fluffy, hey, I'm going to fully enjoy this. It's gonna, or should at least, make you think. So, 1984, George Orwell, check and done. Hello, so I am 60% in to the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. And I'm having so much fun with this one. It honestly gives me Cerulean Sea vibes. And it's just such a sweet, uplifting book. I'm glad that this one was recommended for cancers because I have enjoyed every moment of what I've read so far. I have a little tiny problem, and that's how I ended up at 60%. I keep dozing off to the audiobook because the audio or the narrator's voice is just so soothing as I'm listening to this that my body is just going, okay, look, it's bedtime, we're done. Sorry, even if it's not actually my normal sleep time. So I'm having a great time with it. The premise of this book is we have our main character, Mika Moon. She is an orphan, as all witches are, and she had a kind of unconventional upbringing. And part of that is because of the way that the witches view being together. They're worried that witches being together, magic is too unruly, and so they keep separate intentionally. And once a quarter, they get together to share spells in very small communities of like 20 witches or so. Well, Mika, to kind of thumb her nose at the rules, because she's tired of living this secret life, decides to create this online persona where she is a witch, and makes potions from her or for her. Makes potions mainly through tea leaves to make into tea later on. And most people who watch her videos assume that she is pretending. Well, one man does not. And he is in a predicament where he has 3 orphan witches under his care, and he is at a loss of what to do to help them control their magic. And so he writes to Mika and asks her to come help these girls learn how to control their magic so that if anyone comes to the house, they won't know that the girls are witches. So lots of fun. A very uplifting story, and I'm having a great time with it. So I can't wait to finish it tomorrow. But I'm not gonna get any further in it tonight because I am beat. So I am gonna go to bed, and I will check in when I finish the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So I finished the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and my heart is so full. That was such a sweet little romance. It does remind me a lot of Cerulean Sea. So I think if you liked Cerulean Sea, that you'll like the Very Irregular Society, the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. It's just really cute, and like many romances, it does have that happily ever after ending. But the way that they get there was quite interesting to me. So I had a great time with it, and I am so glad I read it. And I read it in 3 days. With my slump that I had in February and March, I am super excited that I'm back on track for reading. So I am going to keep on going and get some more reading done, and I'll let you know what I'm reading next soon. So up next, I am going to read Your Shadow Half Remains. In this one, let's see if I can pull it up. Our main character, Riley, has not seen a single human face in longer than she can reckon. No faces, no eyes. Not if you want to survive. And so she's gonna end up, sounds like she's gonna end up risking that so that she can have a relationship with someone else, or with another person. This is a 4-hour audiobook that I have, and so it's not gonna take me very long at all to finish it. And in truth, I might actually finish it tonight. With it being so short, I think I might do a halfway update and then an end of the book update. But this one is sci-fi, and it was just released in February of 2024. So we're going to kick off the reading and see how far I can get in the next couple of hours before I go to bed. So I have no idea what I just read. I finished Your Shadow Half Remains. And this is an interesting read. So, again, the premise is a pandemic has gone through the world, and when you look other people in the eyes, you get this desire to kill everyone around you until there's no one left, and then you kill yourself. And as this story is going, things are just constantly shifting. It is a 4-hour book, so I don't want to give too much away, but it was a ride. It is science fiction. It also, I would say, is horror. There are if you don't like the gory bits of books, this one's probably not a good choice for you, because there is some gore. There is some animal gore. There is some human gore. Yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff in this one. So overall, not a bad read. Not necessarily what I normally gravitate toward, and not something that I would say I enjoy. But it's nice to broaden one's horizons once in a while. So that being said, that book is done. My yellow title is done. And now I'm going to move on. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and do Tag Your Dead by Catherine Foxfield. I enjoyed the the first book I read of hers, which was, it's up there somewhere. Come Out, Whatever You Are. That one also had some twists in it. It's a YA. It's going to be kind of lighter than Your Shadow Half Remains. At least I think so. So I'm going to get started on that, and I will check in later. I am now about a third of the way through Tag Your Dead. This one's taking a lot of setup, which, if I remember with Come Out, or Whatever You Are, there was a lot there too before we got to anything really, coming on. So in this, we are following 3 points of view, I believe. We have Grayson, who was dating Rose when she died at one of Antoine's parties. And we have Charlotte, who is a fanfic author and like Antoine's biggest fan. And then we have Aaron, who is trying to win the prize for reasons we aren't quite sure of yet. And the prize they're trying to win is £10,000 from Antoine. Antoine has decided to set up this game of tag throughout London, and in all of this, as he's set this up, things aren't going according to his plan. Someone keeps hacking in to his feeds. Messages keep appearing. It's just a lot going on, more than Antoine set up to happen. And so I'm a little confused on where this is going. Well, that's not entirely true. I'm curious where this is going to go and who's going to end up being the quote-unquote bad guy. We'll just have to see. I am enjoying it, and while I'm reading, I am working on a baby blanket. This is as far as I've gotten. I've gotten one official row done, and I'm working on the second row in about 2 hours of reading or listening. So I'm gonna have to pick up my pace. It didn't help either that I had to frog the whole thing. For those of you who are not crocheters, frogging means I had to pull out all of my stitches and start over in this case, because my base chain was too tight. So it was warping the way that the blanket would have looked, and I didn't like how it looked. So I'm going to keep going on this crochet blanket, and I'm going to keep listening to Tag Your Dead. I'll check in later. So I have just finished Tag Your Dead. That book did not go the way I expected it to. But I do see a lot of similarities between this one and Murder of Roger Ackroyd, which was really cool to kind of see those kind of stretching the normal way that authors present things, especially in mysteries. So lots of fun with that one. And in that book, I got 15 rows done of a baby blanket that I'm working on. And I'm really, really hoping that I can knock out some more on the next audiobook. But it is time to go cook dinner. So I'm going to go make some tacos, and I will check in and let you know what I'm reading next. Hello. So I have made dinner, packed it up, took it down to my in-laws. We had dinner, and now I am back home crocheting, and I have sprints on. It's the Pyramid Book Club's last official reading sprint for their book club for now, and so I really wanted to be here for this, and I have things to do. So I have their sprints on, and I am going to go with a little bit more of a popcorn read right now, and I am going to listen to The Storied Life of A.J. Vickery. This one, I'm trying to remember what it was about. Burp. Alright, so A.J. Vickery is the owner of Island Books, the only bookstore on Alice Island, and he has lost his wife. Now his most prized possession, a rare book, has been stolen from right under his nose. The store itself, it seems, will be next to go. One night upon closing, he discovers a toddler in his children's section with a note from her mother pinned to her Elmo doll. I want Maya to grow up in a place with books and among people who care about such kinds of things. I love her very much, but I can no longer take care of her. And so AJ goes looking for Maya's mother, his rare book, and good child care advice. But the locals are going to notice the changes that are going on in AJ Vickery. And this one, I'm pretty sure I have read some of this author. It's Gabriella Zevin. So I'm just scrolling through, seeing. Oh, okay. She wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Oh, and also Elsewhere. So I have read Elsewhere, really enjoyed that one, and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow has been on my list of books I want to read. So I know this author a little bit and have been intrigued by her other works. So I'm going to start this one, and I will check in later. Okay, so I am now 35% or so through The Storied Life of A.J. Vickery, And this is the cutest little story. This is a perfect popcorn read. For this, we have a man who owns a bookshop. He's recently lost his wife, and he's kind of grumpy. And like the first interaction we have with him, he's meeting a sales rep for books, and he's just a total jerk to her. But very quickly in the book, we find that someone has dropped off their 2-year-old in his bookstore with a note saying that she wants her daughter raised in a bookstore. So he takes this little girl to the police station and then keeps her for the weekend before DSS can become involved, and then ends up adopting her. And there are points where we have lots of big time jumps. So we get this little glimpse of his life when he gets her. Then we get a glimpse of his life when he adopts her. And then now where I'm at, we're just at where she's starting school. And it's just this super heartwarming tale so far. The storied part is of the title, I think, refers to the fact that whenever he's dealing with the situation, he is referring it back to plots in books. And this very well could just be because he is a bookseller. But, you know, he's talking to the officer. We get a kind of like a flashback, and he's talking to the officer when he's gotten the call that his wife has passed, and basically telling the officer that he fits into this specific stereotype. If the book is going one way, one of them is the supporting character and the other is the main character, or vice versa, and how it changes the projection of the book and their stereotypical things. I'm doing a horrible job explaining this, but it is so cute, and I am having a great time with it. For my blanket, I have the gray and the purple done, and I'm just adding the pink. This is a baby blanket for a baby girl, obviously. And so I'm going to, I'm going to go to bed now, and then I will work on this some more tomorrow. I have to be kind of careful as I'm crocheting tomorrow, because this amount right now is all I have of the pink. Joann's no longer carries the petunia pink in store or online, and so I had to order it from Amazon, and it will be here on Thursday. I think I will be able to get this one row of the pink done, but not any more than that. So I'll get a pink, another gray, another purple, and then have to pause if I get it done tomorrow. I also have a second blanket that I was asked to start and have ready the same day, and that is going to be an adult throw blanket. So I have to go get the yarn for that. But I have let's see. Yeah, I have 2 weeks. Yes. 2 weeks to get these 2 blankets done. So I'm gonna have to be cranking it out. Luckily, everything on my list for this month has an audiobook available to me, with the exception of the Book Eaters. I didn't see that one, an audiobook for that one. And my two books from Enchanted Fandom book clubs. So I'm gonna have to sorry, I'm gonna have to do those ones without audiobook as well. So as I'm hoping it will help me progress through, and worst case, I probably could get the next Outlander book done, because those are 100-hour books. I'm exaggerating, they're like 50-hour books, but I could easily get a blanket done in that. So I'm gonna go to bed because I'm just rambling at this point. So I will talk with you guys tomorrow, tomorrow for me, in 30 seconds for you probably. And I will let you know what I continue to think of the storied life of AJ Vickery. So I've just finished the storied life of AJ Vickery, and oh my goodness, oh, it is such a sweet, sweet story. Oh, if I can stop dropping my camera. Very sweet story, and definitely the dog has a shingle. Okay. Definitely is a popcorn read. I had a great time with it. There are moments that could be emotional for some, but overall it's a sweet story, and I think most people would enjoy it. I don't know what I would compare it to. With Irregular Witches, Cerulean Sea was an easy book to compare it to, because it had the fantasy elements, it had the found family, but this one, I'm not sure. It's about a bookstore and about a book owner, and his eventual found family. Very cute, and I really loved it. Before I start another book, I'm gonna go on ahead and end this vlog here, because I am halfway through my reading, and it is only April 10th. I am super, super happy that I have broken my slump. And it's come at a good time, because we have so much going on right now, and things are just going to get a little harder. And I know that I'm going to want to escape into my books, along with the fact that I am crocheting 2 blankets right now that are both due in less than 2 weeks. So I need to be listening to lots of audiobooks while I work. So this is where we're going to end this one. First 4 books of Orilium are done, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.